Good morning, everybody. My name is Eric, and it's time for journaling once again. For today's prompt, I want to do something that I know is incredibly important for us as a species to continue forward. And I know this may seem like a lofty thing, like, how can we do this in journaling? Well, like anything else, it goes with awareness. So let me just remind you of a quote I came up with, maybe 15, 20 years ago. I don't remember exactly. And I still reiterate it to students all the time, because it kind of shows you the link between perception and action. So the quote goes like this: perception orients belief. Belief dictates action. Action carves the world. What that means is that if we can, wherever our perceptions lie, inevitably down the chain of how things are linked up, as I just said, it can turn into a belief, and then the belief says, oh, I believe this, that means I have to act this way, and that act carves out the world. And this can go good or bad, but the key thing is perception. And depending on where your perception is, it can dictate how you respond to different activities on the planet, or in our daily life is a better way to say it. So with that kept in mind, let me just bring out another way to look at things in today's world that I think is very important. The other day, it was recorded that off the coast of Florida, the waters were reaching, these are ocean waters, were reaching 101 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the same temperature that we use in jacuzzis. This is as a result of global warming, climate change, or the emergency, the crisis that's been going on pretty much since the Industrial Revolution. It's been building up, but predominantly over the last few decades, it's really reached critical levels. If this persists, our way of life is in definite threat. So I bring this up because most people, we hear these things, but we're so caught up in our daily life that we can lose track of it. So let's bring it into today's journaling activity. Most things in the planet, in terms of society or sociocultural things, will be a response to awareness. Wherever people's awareness is at, then things can happen. So if we can change our perception or our awareness around an issue, even if we know it may be true, we may not realize how heavy it may be. So for today's prompt, I want to give back to the original investors. And I always feel a little odd phrasing it this way, and I'll get to who the investors are. I don't like to put it in economic terms, but unfortunately, economics is what dictate our way of life globally at the moment, even though there's other dimensions that are necessary for our survival in life. So in my mind, we can envision the original investors, the environment, the plants, the animals. These beings, plants and animals, yes, we have used them to build a civilization, but have we consumed them too much? Have we disregarded them? Have we become too disconnected to them that we are grinding them up so fast or polluting our world so fast by fossil fuels? Even though in the beginning fossil fuels were a great invention for us, which allowed us to become industrialized and make a lot of the products we have now. Now we have to change. But the environment and the other animals have invested either their flesh, that's the only way I can say it, or the environment itself, and we need to make sure that it's coming back in return. If the infrastructure of our world collapses, we collapse because we are part of that infrastructure as well, or we are more dependent on it. Therefore, without going into a whole rant on this thing, the simple prompt for today is, what are you grateful for from planet Earth? It's very simple. How has planet Earth made you happy? Why are you grateful for it? And it could be anything from your personal environment to the flowers you have in your backyard. It could be when you travel and you see other countries. It could be the ocean, the lake, the marine life, the air. It could be all the above. Personally, as I learn more and more about our planet from the animal species, past and present, the environment, the culturals, all of it is fascinating. It's all part of this bio-life force that has made planet Earth so spectacular. You can kind of think of it this way too. If I say the Amazon rainforest, most of us will think of a lush rainforest, very wet climate, huge diversity of life, plants, animals, things like that too. Well, you can kind of loosely, not even loosely, you can kind of imagine planet Earth the same way in our immediate solar system. I'd be willing to bet, without being an astrophysicist or doing the calculations, but from what I know, planets that have the right components to sustain life as we know it, are going to be a lower percentage than the myriad of possibilities from like places like Venus, to where you have to have like the Goldilocks, the right temperature, the right minerals, the right atmosphere, the right gravitational pull, the right blah, 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 the right atmosphere that filters out the radiation, all these things. And there's billions and billions and trillions of planets and stars out there, but not all of them are going to be conducive to life. Therefore, our little green dot, as we've heard before, in our solar system is like the Amazon in our solar system, or in our galaxy is what I meant before. So why are you grateful for planet Earth? Little things like this, when we journal, we get these ideas roaming in our head. They will start to percolate. You may have a conversation with somebody, could be your family, could be a colleague, could be a work, or whatever it may be. And if there's enough critical mass of things, perception can change. Beliefs can change that, yes, dumping fossil fuels in the atmosphere can affect the planet in a detrimental way. And this is why we're doing it. So I don't want to go too much more into that. Today's prompt is, why are you grateful for planet Earth? Very simple. One page. And as a reminder for anybody who happens to be new, the rules are simple. You can follow the prompt. Don't worry about writing. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about format. Just whatever thoughts come up from this prompt, just keep the pen moving. Fill up an entire page. And if you don't want to write about the prompt or write from the prompt, no problem. Just write whatever you like. I'm just trying to throw out some different ideas so we can start to kind of hone and utilize journaling in many different facets. And most of it is getting these ideas in our head, or just processing our thoughts of our head and getting our ideas and thoughts and beliefs and emotions and all this stuff more in our consciousness and our personal consciousness. So we're not just being kind of bounced around in life. We can actually be more in control of things. That's really what it's about. And before we start, you can follow the link. There's some journals. We have 4 new flavors up on there. Please support the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. We always are looking for it. And please subscribe, because we're going to keep journaling all the time too. So we greatly appreciate it. So let's get to work, everybody. All right. So today's date is the 28th of July. Time is 10:09 a.m. for me. Mood and location. Okay, so anybody up in this meeting, as usual, I recommend one sentence. Just describe the day wherever you're at. If in the event you happen to look back, you kind of oriented where things are going, what was going on at that time. Excuse me. Anyways. Why are you grateful for planet Earth? That's the prompt. See you at the other end. And remember, enjoy the process. Okay. Okay, everybody. I hope the journaling went well. One page, why you're grateful for planet Earth. And you might be thinking, how does this really relate? How is this going to do any good? Well, let me just break down it quickly before I let you guys go. First, the process of journaling is always going to be good. It just kind of grounds you for all the personal benefits we've mentioned in many other videos. By reflecting on these prompts, even if it feels maybe cheesy because maybe you haven't thought about this before, it just seems something you might get in an English class or something you may do in some kind of therapy session. It is relatively easy. But remember, by getting these ideas into your head, the act of actually writing them as opposed to just sitting passively in front of a TV like a documentary or a newscast or whatever it may be, getting them and doing something physical, writing them and thinking as they go through, gets it in your subconscious. It starts getting these concepts in the background programming. So as we go through life and all the different facets of information come at you, you've already started processing it. You may have started getting a better orientation of how you want to reflect or how you may see these issues, how you want to act, how do you want to respond to them. Personally, I feel that if everybody was thinking about these concepts more and more and more, there would be enough sociocultural pressure that things could change for the better. Because a clean, healthy planet that's in balance is beneficial not just for the inanimate objects, the plants and the animals, but also us as well, and the longevity of our own species. This is my way of finding some sliver of activity to help lean it towards the more developmental, if you will. So I hope this kind of makes sense to you. Maybe in the process of journaling on this prompt shook out some ideas you weren't aware of, got you thinking about things that maybe you should be more aware of. I'll leave you with this. Whenever I go camping and I go out in the forest in particular, I'm always feeling like a bad son, and a bad son to the natural world. Because once I get there, I go, why haven't I been here earlier enough? Or why haven't I come here earlier? It's so quiet, you don't get, especially if you're from a city or a metropolitan area, you can kind of feel that sociocultural pressure. When you're in the forest, it's just calm and quiet and still, and it's beautiful. Even if there's dirt on the floor and there's a river and animals and trees and plants and dead leaves, it's still a clean environment. It's not polluted, it's not decaying. This is the kind of things that are healthy. This is where life was birthed out of. Came out of, excuse me. You get the idea what I'm saying. So, this is why I picked this prompt today. Anyways, I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. And remember, enjoy the process. Take care, everybody.